All right, in this explainer, we're going to do something a little different. We are completely flipping the script on exam revision. Instead of starting with a question, we're starting with the answers. We're going to try and get inside the mind of a physics examiner by working completely backwards.
So, here's our challenge. What can an answer key really tell us if we don't even have the questions? We're going to do a bit of a forensic investigation. By looking only at the official answers, can we figure out what was being asked? Trust me, this is one of the best ways to understand what examiners are actually looking for.
And this is our source material, the official mark scheme from AQA for a higher-tier physics paper. We're going to focus just on question 10. By digging into the clues hidden in these answers, we're going to reconstruct the whole question and pick up some really crucial exam techniques while we're at it.
Okay, let's get started with our very first clue from question 10.1. Now, the mark scheme tells us it's worth just 1 mark. That's a huge hint right there. It means we're looking for a single, specific piece of knowledge. So, what's the answer?
That's it. The entire answer for 1 mark is just brown, a single word. So you got to ask yourself, what in the world of physics could this be referring to? Well, it's a classic safety question.
This absolutely has to be about UK plug wiring. It's the only place where the word brown is the single correct answer. It's the color code for the live wire. So this tells us the question was a pure test of factual recall. No calculations, no deep analysis, just did you know this one key fact? 1 word, 1 mark. It shows that precision is everything.
Let's move on to 10.2 and see what's next. This time, the mark scheme gives us something different. Not a word, but a drawing. This is testing a totally different, but just as important, skill.
And there it is, that little rectangle with a line through it. The answer is the standard circuit symbol for a fuse. So the question must have been incredibly straightforward, something like, draw the symbol for a fuse. This isn't about memorizing facts, it's about visual recognition and being able to draw it accurately.
And why is this so important? Well, a fuse is a fundamental safety component. It's basically designed to be the weak link. It melts and breaks the circuit if the current gets dangerously high, which protects the appliance, and more importantly, it protects you. Knowing what one looks like in a circuit diagram is absolutely a non-negotiable skill.
Okay, now we get to a much bigger clue. Question 10.3 is worth 4 marks. That is a massive signal that we're now dealing with a multi-step calculation. And for these questions, let me tell you, the final answer is only a small part of the story. Showing your work isn't just a good idea, it's where most of the marks are.
This is the exact path to getting all 4 of those marks. We can guess the question gave us a charge of 2.0 coulombs and a time of 0.400 seconds. Now look at the steps. First, you get 1 mark just for writing down the correct formula. Then, a 2nd mark for putting the numbers in the right places. The 3rd mark comes from correctly rearranging the formula. And only then, the very last mark is for the final answer.
And that final answer is 5.0 amperes. Notice the 0.0? That shows a certain level of precision was expected. If you follow these exact steps, you're guaranteed all 4 marks. And hey, even if you mess up the final calculation, you could still walk away with 3 out of 4 marks. That's why showing your work is so crucial.
And the examiners weren't done testing calculations, not by a long shot. Question 10.4 is another 4-marker. And based on the formula we're about to see, this one probably has something to do with energy and a change of state.
And look at that. It's the exact same 4-step process again. The mark scheme points us to the equation for specific latent heat, so we can guess the question gave an energy value and a specific latent heat value. And again, you get a mark for the formula, a mark for the substitution, a mark for rearranging it, and that final mark for the answer. See the pattern here? The final answer is 1.7 times 10 to the power of minus 5 kilograms. It's a tiny number, and notice it's presented in standard form. So this question wasn't just testing if you could use a calculator, it was testing if you could handle different units and scientific notation properly.
Okay, for our final clue, let's take a look at 10.5. This was a 2-mark question, which usually suggests it's not a calculation, but an explanation that needs you to link 2 different ideas together.
To get full marks here, you had to make 2 connected points. The first mark was for stating the effect. The time taken would increase. Simple enough. But the second mark was for explaining the physics behind it, because more energy would need to be transferred. And the mark scheme specifically says that the second mark depended on getting the first one right. This is all about testing your ability to form a logical, scientific argument.
So let's pull all our clues together.
We've done the detective work on question 10. What have we actually learned? What skills was this question really designed to test?
When you piece it all together, you realize this single question was a test of, well, pretty much everything. It tested pure factual recall, your ability to recognize symbols, your calculation method, applying the right equation from memory, and connecting concepts logically. This wasn't just a physics question, it was a full workout for your brain.
So here's the big takeaway. You have to see the mark scheme as more than just a way to check if you got the right answer. It's a roadmap. It literally tells you how to structure your answer to get the maximum credit. Honestly, it is one of the most powerful revision tools you have at your disposal.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you've seen just how much information is packed inside an answer key, how are you going to use mark schemes to level up your own revision? It's an incredibly powerful tool, and now you know how to use it. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.